up, peeps? It's your girl Dash coming back to you from Real Takes. Today I'll be doing a movie review to Captain Marvel. This is a long time coming since I've been basically waiting for well over a year for this to drop. It's finally here. I'm excited to finally, put my 2 cents in on this particular movie because this is one of the ones I was definitely looking forward to seeing in the new year. Of course, a lot of backstory on, of course, things that have kind of happened basically since the first trailer dropped all the way up until now. There's still a lot of stuff happening in regards to the movie, some positive and some negatives. I'm going to definitely discuss the movie. This will be spoiler free, and then after that, of course, I'm gonna give my thoughts overall, how I felt about the movie, and then I'm going to give a very short little bit of a slight rant on how I feel about said little things that have been happening outside of the movie, pertaining to the movie and individuals who are actually in the movie. So with that said, let me go ahead and just jump into it. First and foremost, I would say that I enjoyed the movie. So much so that I actually saw it twice. I enjoyed it Thursday evening, and of course I saw it again on Saturday early in the day. Now for me, I am already a fan of Brie Larson because I've seen her in multiple films. I think she's a great actress, and I feel really good about that, being that she has done quite a few things that I think that played a part in Kevin Feige, picking her for this particular role. Secondly, the casting in this movie was great. I love the entire cast of the movie. That definitely helps. I know a lot of people definitely are centering on just her, but I think her and everyone else, did a great job, and it shows in the way the movie actually portrayed the story of Captain Marvel. With this movie, I consider this to be more of an origin story. And this being told, of course, about the two directors, Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. And I think they did a great job with that. Basically, if you all recall from the trailers, because they showed quite a few of them and some TV spots, I see it as, of course, Carol Danvers, a.k.a. Veers, aka Captain Marvel. Basically, we start off, getting to see her in the midst of working with Star Force. You see her kind of being sent on a mission with the crew, whichever, of course, her go-to in regards to kind of overseer of sorts is the character played by Jude Law, which is Jan Rock. And his character, I actually enjoy. At times, he can be kind of a little bit of an annoyance at times, whichever, but at the bigger picture of trying to get what they need to get in regards to what they're dealing with when they're talking about Kree, and then also dealing with the Skrulls. They're trying to deal with certain assets, whatever, and certain information they're needing to locate certain things. Now, with her being, she's just thinking she's another Kree, whichever, unbeknownst to her, of course, you see scenes where she's, keeps having visions, not understanding what's happening, not knowing what's going on with her. And then kind of from there, she ends up having a situation where they are in the midst of a mission, and certain things do happen. She ends up getting caught by some Skrulls, and then things start happening where it starts to open up floodgates with certain flashbacks and memories, whichever. And of course, if you all remember in the trailer, she of course drops to Earth, and in the middle of a blockbuster, which I love the 90s nostalgia. I will say that off the cuff. That was interesting to see. And then from there, it kind of starts to slowly take us on a ride of her, kind of a journey of her figuring out who she is, dealing with the Skrulls, trying to understand their true purpose, what's really going on. And then, of course, in the midst of the journey, coming across characters, of course, like, let me go down the list. Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, and let's just say Nick Fury was hilarious in this movie. I still can't get over how good they made him look as a young man, whichever. I was really in awe. He looked so good, and I kept staring at the hair because, of course, of so many years we've noticed him, of course, always just bald, whichever. So it was a lot to still get used to him seeing the hair, but I enjoy that. Same thing with Agent Coulson, played, of course, by Clark Gregg. I will say this, with his, at times he of course definitely looks young, but at moments, sometimes, I don't know, the CGI, whatever, with him kind of was a little off to me at times, whichever, but overall, he was great. I enjoy seeing him. From there, of course, you see the parts of, scenes of her, of course, hitting the woman on the older woman on, was it the metro, whatever, the transit, whichever. I love those scenes. And then, of course, her going on, a mission to locate a particular character, which is called Dr. Wendy Lawson, which is played by Annette Bening. I will tell you all recall when I saw, well, I think when I say the second trailer, I was kind of taken aback because I had no idea she was in this. And that's how you always know they're up to something, you know, when they're keeping certain things secret. I knew about all the other casting but her. And that is very specific. Like I stated, I will not be spoiling anything. I would rather you all go see it for yourself. So I'm trying to stay away from that. And then, of course, you know, learning certain things, her reconnecting with her best friend, played by Latasha Lynch. Her name in the movie was Maria. She was great. And then, of course, the character we definitely get introduced through the scrolls is Talos, which is played by Ben Mendelsohn. He was awesome. I enjoyed him immensely. And then just from there, I will say I enjoyed, of course, the dynamic. I like the friendships that she had, of course, that she was building, of course, with Nick Fury. And then, of course, I love her friendship she had with Maria, played by Latasha. I feel those were the key strengths within the movie, you know, especially with Nick Fury, because you see her with him a lot more, whichever. But I love the parts, you know, going to the other half of the movie where you get to see her with her best friend, whichever. Of course, like I said, you do get the flashbacks. You see a little bit of that. You have a little bit of more of an understanding from that aspect as well. You see them, of course, being that they're in the Air Force, you know, in the midst of, you know, getting ready to, you know, fly, small little scenes like that, whichever, you know, case in point, the shirt. And I really liked the scenes. I loved how Latasha, you know's character Maria, was a single mom, and how like they, you know, interacted with that. You know, she was a strong, you know, friend, mother, and girlfriend, whichever, you know, hard worker, whatever, just showing that she can do all that. And then having her best friend Carol there, you know, helping her, you know, raise, almost like she was helping her raise. If you see certain instances, you'll notice that from watching it in the movie. I also enjoyed, like I said, the scenes with Talos and Carol Danvers and Nick Fury. I like the way, you know, I can't really talk about it too much, but you're given an impression in regards to Talos' character, but it's not what it appears to be. And I kind of like that, because the way things are edited and cut in trailers, you know, you think it's going to be a certain way, but then it's something totally different, whichever. That's how they can kind of get you. And his character was just really good. I really enjoyed him immensely. He was at times a scene stealer, just, you know, in regards to dialogue and the way he carried himself in the movie. Another scene stealer I enjoyed was, what do they call him? A Flurgle, aka Goose. Goose was like a true star within the movie in itself. And I just was so here for that. You know, let's just give a shout out to Goose, honestly. So, yes, I will say also, another character that we do get to see is Ronan. I don't feel like we got to see him enough. Played by Lee Pace. I enjoyed that. I will say, when it came to Star Force, I enjoyed the scenes that we did get with the action scenes. Wasn't so much. I did not like that we didn't see enough of Ronan in the movie like I would have wanted to. Let's just hope moving forward we might see a little bit more down the line, whichever. That would be nice. Again, like I said about the non-nostalgia, was really good. Non-nostalgia, like with the Blockbuster, you see other stores that we no longer have that are 90s theme. I love how they showed the way internet was back in the day, the different video games from back in the day that were considered the ones that we have, of course, had to have back then. The music was so good. I enjoy that because, you know, I'm a 70s child, but I love the 80s and I definitely love the 90s. So, you know, I knew which ones they were playing off the cuff, and it was good. You could tell a lot of people in the audience really enjoyed the certain music they used for certain scenes were done really well. One particular scene, an action scene with Captain Marvel, they used one particular song, and you could kind of hear the audience really getting into it, which was good. So I can say I really like that. Now, my overall thoughts with the movie, like I said, I really enjoyed it. You already know I saw it twice. I did enjoy it a lot. I will say overall, I like Samuel L. Jackson. I thought he was great. I definitely liked Carol being considered confident in her abilities, because I will say this, going back to when she was a child, of course you see the flashbacks from the trailer where they show her falling down, whatever and all that. She definitely felt very strong in her convictions of how she carried herself, you know, feeling like she had the ability to do things, whichever. I don't want to give away spoiler wise in regards to the aspect of flashbacks with the kids. That's in the movie for you all to see that, but it's very pivotal in some other later scenes towards the end of the movie, which, you know, kind of puts it in better context for you guys to really understand what's going on there. also. Now, for me, also, like I said, love the friendships. And I will say this. I know some people are comparing the movie prior to the movie coming out, so let's just throw that part out. I love Wonder Woman, and I love Captain Marvel. They're both even killed to me, whichever and all. I'm not going to even get into that, whichever and all that, because being from a female standpoint, yes, I love them both. One thing I will say that I liked in this one, compared to how it was in Wonder Woman, was I love that it was no love interest. You didn't have to deal with these little sexy outfits and things scheming, and I like that it was the female friendship in this particular movie. That's the things that I really enjoyed in this, whichever. So I love that they honed on that, whichever. It doesn't take away from Wonder Woman. I understand the veracity of Wonder Woman. I watched Wonder Woman as a child, so you ain't gotta say anything to me about Wonder Woman, whichever. That's how I feel about that instance. But overall, that's the things that I like that they didn't do in this one compared to how they did that in Wonder Woman. Secondly, like I said, not enough action sequences. Like I said, case in point, scenes that were around the focal point of, scenes involving Ronan. I wish it was more. I feel like that was, could have been done a little bit more in that, whichever. What we got was okay, but I really wish it lasted longer. It is what it is. There is one scene I would say I like how in the end you see how Fury comes up with the name that we all come to know and love, which basically parlays into how he came to be with the Avengers. I love how they showcase that, whichever. I won't say where that part is in there, but you will see that. That was really good. And I just like with him also how he comes into contact with Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, and then basically when he encounters her, whichever, it kind of shows him, that there is another threat that can be facing Earth, which was the Skrulls. And with that said, it kind of colors his knowledge of understanding that there's other existence of other worlds out there, whichever, that it could be a threat to Earth, whichever, which, like I said, gives us these other superheroes that we end up, of course, getting to know through Marvel for the last, 10 years that we got, So I like that saying, whichever, of course, with us being introduced to, of course, the pager. I'm not giving that away. You all saw that in Infinity War, whichever, a better understanding of the pager, and its significance, whichever, because that's when we get to see that in this, of course, back then in the 90s, we had pagers. I had one, so I know the significance of those, and it was just nice how it all kind of intertwined with that. Now, overall, my rating on this out of a 10, I'll give it about a 7.5. I think I liked it enough that I really enjoyed it overall. Like I said, a little bit less action. I wish it was a little bit more. The overall story was flushed out. I think within the time they're given was perfectly done. I don't think, the pacing overall was pretty good for me. I wasn't bored watching it. I was really in tune with it. So yes, that part was good. The flushing out of understanding situations, with, Captain Marvel and Nick Fury, working together, understanding how Nick Fury's face got scratched. You definitely see that in the movie. That was really good. Also, I'm forgetting one thing that I definitely can't forget. You all know what's going to happen. They already said it was going to be in it. I'm not going to spoil this, but let's just say that Stan Lee tribute was done really nicely. I literally was in tears because it was just so sweet. And it just got, you could hear the people in the theater were just so sad because I'm just like, my gosh, that's, he's gone, whichever. But I like how, they did that. I thought that was wonderfully done. So I just had to make sure I didn't forget that part. I'm like, I'm not doing a disservice to you all for forgetting that part. So, but yes, overall, again, like I said, I liked the movie. I enjoyed it very much. I'm very happy with what we got in the end from this movie. And that's basically all I have to say about that. Now I'm going to just go into this really quickly because I'm going to end it because I didn't mean for this to go on a little too long. I put it like this. I know what's been happening. I've been seeing the stuff, whichever, and I'll say it like this. I found most of this stuff that's been happening in the last, really since the first year, like I said, the comments about the not smiling, her overall physicality, hearing comments about, she's not as curvy as the comic books, or making other statements about her looks, the body shaming, and then some people take it so far as to call her out her name because of a situation that happened, because she wanted to be more inclusive in regards to press, with people doing interviews for, the Hollywood junket, whichever, it is what it is. I didn't know that would stem from her, hating the gender, a male gender, but, whatever. I don't know how we got there. But needless to say, I'm like this. When I go to movies, I base it on the movie. I'm not going to get into all of that because I feel like that takes away from the movie. Some people really use that to base their overall feelings about a movie, and then it becomes nothing about the movie. You got to be disrespectful, calling people names, whichever, and all that. Then it's like you lose all validity, in your statement to me. I have no desire to hear things where you can't keep it and critique it. Make it constructive criticism about the movie. You have people calling the movie trash, saying it's going to be boring, it's going to be bland, whichever, and the movie hadn't even come out yet. Right there. I'm like, no. If you've seen the movie and you say that, then fine. Nothing wrong with that. But to make comments about something you have not seen yet, no, don't. Just don't do that, because you just look foolish. And I find all of it quite comical. I laughed at some of them. I said, I'm missing a glass of wine, because this crap is hilarious to me. The amount of energy the individuals were using, whichever. And I know right now they had to change, supposedly with Rotten Tomatoes, people making comments before, whichever, setting it where it's wait till the movie to come out. Let me tell you how I feel about that. It's unfortunate they had to do that, but I'm going to tell you, they should have had that as a standard when they first started Rotten Tomatoes. It's sad you had to do this now, because I do recall what happened with Black Panther. This was happening then, trying to bring the score down, whichever, and they had to do certain things with that. You should have had that as a standard from the beginning, because then you could have avoided all this. Now, still, once the movie comes out, people are going to make comments, say this, whichever, and all that. Then it is what it is. You just got to go along with that. But just blatant stuff like this, no. I will be honest with you. I read one comment where somebody really went there and had the nerve to start talking about what she should behave the way Wonder Woman had behaved in her movie. And I'm thinking, behave? I'm like, really? Like, you really went there? And let's just say, since he went there, I went there with him. And let's just say that I think he realized what he said, because it was just like, don't do that. Don't do that. Stick with the movie. See the movie. Say what you want about the movie as a whole, collective, and all that. Don't talk about women and behavior. I'm not even here for that nonsense. That's just not going to go. Whichever. I'm not trying to hear any of that nonsense. If you're not going to tell me how you thought about the movie as collective, not just with particularly Miss Larson, everyone in the movie, because it's an ensemble cast. What did you like about this person, this person? That's what I want to see from individuals. If you're just going to go honing in on her and start bashing her, then there's nothing left for you to say, and that's just nothing I'm going to argue with, whichever. It's like you on deaf ears with me, whichever. I'm going to let you sit in your bubble and have that moment to yourself. And I'm like this. The ones that are complaining, whichever, if you complain after you saw the movie, it is what it is, because I'm going to tell you like this. You gave them your money. Marvel thanks you. It is what it is, and that's all I can say about that. So, but yeah, this whole situation is really funny, because also, let's just say it, and I don't think I'm spoiling it, that character ain't going nowhere. I think she most definitely will be in the next one. And if everything goes well with this movie, there probably will be a sequel. So just get ready not to go see the next one if you don't want to. Now, anybody else who wants to go see it, because if I see one more comment that says, I expected not to dislike this movie, from all the people bashing it, but I actually enjoyed it. You'd be amazed how many times I've seen that statement said. And it's just like, go see the movie for yourself and make your honest opinion about the movies. I don't like to listen to other people. I let them say their piece, and I'm like, okay, but I'm gonna still go see the movie. And then if I, we'll see whatever. Yeah, that was my money. I wasted it if I didn't like it, whichever. But that's the thing with movies. You're not gonna always like everything, and there's nothing wrong with that. I like to just keep it on, straight and narrow, and then go see the movie and then take it and critique it from there. I'm not gonna straight up bash movies so wholeheartedly when I'm like, yeah, I paid the money. It was alright. I would just rather you all wait to come out on DVD. That's how I normally like to do it with you guys, whichever. I'm always I'm like, no. If you want to still see it, you still have an inkling when it comes out, do this. Or better yet, there's other means to watching certain movies, you all know, and it is what it is. Get to watching, and then you can comment back and let me know what you think, and then keep it moving. But yeah, all this other negativity stuff, it's just like, please, just why waste your energy? It's ridiculous to me. So but they can do that. That's their energy, not mine. So I enjoyed it. I hope it does very well the first weekend out. I hope it continues doing well, whichever. And hey, Brie Larson did that, and she did very good. I loved it. So with that said, you guys, like I said, comment below. Let me know what you all think of the movie. And I will say this, if I see one comment that's straight negative about just her and her alone, whichever, and you have nothing to add of any constructive criticism about the movie in general, it's not going to stay on there long. So I'm just going to save you all the time and effort for that. Just save your breath. Go to somebody who actually feels the way you feel and put that over there. And with that said, I will see you on the next review. You guys take care.